Ian Chappell was on the radio this morning talking about the production of batsmen in this country.
Sure.
And saying that the system is clearly broken. I mean, is that fair or unfair?
Well, funnily enough, his brother's the national talent manager, and I work with Greg, and he's very positive about the talent that's coming through. I was, funnily enough, I was reviewing, and it's a good one for you to have a look at, that Australia A South Africa series that we had this year, where Australia A won. Elgar, Cook, Pavuma all played in that series, so did Verlander. And there were a lot of players playing that aren't out here. So, Greg's very much of the view that we have talent coming through. He's very positive about it. And, it's the opportunity that comes over time. And look, we were criticised, obviously, in the South Africa A series, the South Africa One Day series, about giving people that have played in that series the opportunity. So, and they also take time.
One of the key elements of the Argus review was accountability.
Yep.
Who's held accountable for if these performances keep continuing? Is it the coach? Is it you? Is it the players?
Let's go to that report. It talks about ultimate accountability. So, yeah, that's me. So I've obviously got to make the people that report to me. And I think you were in the press conference yesterday asking Darren, is he under the pump? And he said yes. Am I under the pump? Absolutely. As I should be. As I should be. So I've got no problem with that. And always with that, you go and address and focus on the problem. Focus on the problem at hand. I want to, we're in the middle of a test match, and I want to see some resilience now, and see the guys who can step up and take the opportunity. Because as a team, we're under the pump. As a system, we're under the pump. And I think Australians expect that fight, and I think that's a fair enough expectation.
A lot of people are looking at the decision to extend Darren's contract. Was that premature, or was that a mistake?
Not at the time, it wasn't. And no, look, I think I've been working with Darren for a long time. I get to see him work. This is a great challenge for his coaching. I think he's in uncharted territory for him as well, and we've talked about that. This is a great chance for him to reinvent. And he's been contracted through to past 2019, which is a huge year in the calendar. There's an Ashes away and a World Cup back to back. And I think we've got a young captain with a coach that's I wanted to give the team and squad some stability. So I don't apologise for that. I made the decision and I take accountability for that.
Are you comfortable with selectors speculating about team selections in media roles?
So this is Mark.
It's any selector.
Any selector, yeah. So look, I think those, I understand the mixed messages that does give at times. There are benefits to having Mark watch games. He goes to every BBL match, and specifically when we brought Mark on board, it was around World Cup and white ball preparation, and that was a success. He was involved in leading into the World Cup, and so I think that worked well at the time. Obviously, when you have the more voices you have, the more opportunity you've got to hear different messages at different times. I heard Darren say it yesterday, and obviously I'm here, that there's no mixed message between what Mitch Marsh was told, between Rod Marsh, and there were very clear messages that came between the two of them. So I don't think there's any confusion on the ground, whilst I understand the question and the confusion that there's that has been speculated a little bit in the media.
So, there may not be mixed messages with the players, but you've got, in the last week, there's been two selectors have said something categorical. They've been contradicted by subsequent events. As an organisation, do you lose credibility if people can't believe what your senior people are saying publicly?
Oh, look, I think you're going to get different messages at different times. Yeah, absolutely. And look, that was it's an unfortunate comment, and I think it could be construed a little bit different ways. But in the end, I also don't want to put any barriers in the way of the selectors trying to put the best team on the ground that they can. So if they wanted to pick a different 11, a completely different 11 to give us the best chance of winning, I'm not going to apologise for that.
Look, I understand that, but it's just that, sorry, just to follow up that though, what does it do for your organisation though if you've got your senior people saying things that are not coming true?
Oh, look, I think it depends on how long you want to draw a bow. I'm not particularly worried by it, particularly. Yeah, it's Mark said what he said. And they hadn't had a meeting in between the last meeting and the next one, so I'm not particularly worried by it at this stage, mate.
We've already seen Rod Marsh say that he won't seek a new contract after it expires this year. Have you made a decision about, you know, your future beyond that point? You know, do you feel like you have unfinished business, or, you know, do you feel like it?
Yeah, I've specifically been in the press that, look, I'm not even going to contemplate it till after the Test series is done. And to be fair, I think it would only serve as a distraction to do that over the next couple of months. I'm more than happy to wait till well after the Test series to even start contemplating that.
So just to follow up on the early question about Darren Lehmann and his contract, like, it was obviously the right call at the time in your mind, but does a series like this change anything, or do you still feel like he's the man for this team?
Well, this is one of the great ones, is that if you're looking for the players to have resilience, you want the people around them to have resilience. So I expect Darren, me, Rod, all of us to show that exact same resilience we're asking of the players.